Hello, I am your host, The Gamer, and welcome to 3 SCP Readings. Today, we'll be reading, the first SCP we'll be reading about is SCP-664. SCP-664, viewed from the southern entrance to the third floor. Item number, SCP-664, Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Protocol G316U. Containment of geographically immobile anomaly. Urban subset is to be followed with a containment perimeter established at the property's boundary. Testing is disallowed at this time. Description: SCP-664 is an anomaly affecting the approximate area contained by the third floor of Redacted High School in Redacted, Pennsylvania, USA. SCP-664 is invisible to all observation and measurements thus far attempted. This is discernible only by its effect on living biological organisms. Living biological organisms tests 5-12. Detailed species tested to date crossing the approximate outer edge of SCP-664 are invariably subject to spontaneous and instant disappearance. Shortly after full immersion into SCP-664, area of testing to date is yet to satisfactorily establish whether time, distance, or other factors dictate that the exact moment of disappearance. Non-living materials, including clothing and equipment, are not affected by SCP-664's effect. SCP-664-1 is a collective term for any living biological organisms that re-emerge from SCP-664. To date, 67% of biological entering SCP-664 have subsequently returned, with a higher or lower proportion for sapient or non-sapient organisms, respectively. To date, the time recorded between disappearance and return ranges from 43 seconds to the lowest limit to 142 days, the highest. On returning instances of SCP-664-1 have thus far been unable to provide descriptions of their experience during the period of absence. On Redacted 1999, a routine intake DNA testing of D-48120 produced a match with the researcher Daniel Ambridge of the Foundation employment since 1972, presently engaged in the study of SCP-blank or Redacted. Both were under high-level covert surveillance on Redacted 1999. D-Class Personnel 48120 was assigned for testing of SCP-664 on on the month Redacted of day of Redacted 1999. Researcher Ambridge requested a transfer of assignment to SCP-664, which was approved following consultation with the Foundation Internal Monitoring Group. Redacted. Following entry into SCP-664, D-Class Personnel 48120 and subsequent non-returning after 300 days, Researcher Ambridge was detained for questioning. Interview 664-12A. Excerpt President, Researcher Daniel Ambridge, Dr. Jennifer Ambridge. I'm pleased that you interviewed when you did, and not before. I had been worried about what would have happened to me if you had stopped him. Stevenson. Do you mean Class D Personnel 48120? That's right. Myself, I should say. He didn't believe me at first. He didn't believe me at first. Would you believe it? But it didn't take long to wear him down, sharing some of our memories that nobody else knew. About that Karen girl, sometimes about crimes we knew about that nobody else knew about. Some of the nasty little details that I'm ashamed to admit now. I was unpleasant man back then. Then bound for death. This whole twist of fate gave me a fresh beginning and a head start to do something good in my life. I'm glad to have had the opportunity. Stephenson, describe again for me what you experienced following your entry to SCP-664. What more can I add? It was a long time ago, but I remember it quite well. One moment I'm in there in the old school with the older me standing with his colleagues, watching and waiting with cold professionalism, hiding in the conclusion I knew he was underneath. All those days in my cell, with him talking to me through every little detail of the Foundation. What happened, what I needed to do when I popped out of the other side, how I needed to act and think. It was all a lot to take in. Apologies, you were asking about what happened when I stepped through. I'm afraid it was just all the others, just nothingness. How I came out, though, was different, I grant you. One moment, the next, I'm naked and frightfully cold, falling into the hay wagon. Just as my older self had described every little detail, I found some clothes and made my way to blank. And dear old Elsie was there, just like he said she would be. A stranger to me then, of course, but she took me in, and from there, I followed the path that set me free. Hang on, I lost my spot. That set out for me until the day came when I realized I could no longer tell where I had ended and he had begun. It was my turn to fulfill this half of the story. And my dear Elsie, she never knew that I had helped getting into her heart, that all I knew along that our life together was destined. Excuse me a moment. Apologies again. It doesn't do to get emotional. I know. May I ask, why did nobody stop me? You've been watching this whole time, surely. Surely you must have known I was preparing him, feeding him information about the Foundation, about my life, and how to work his way to become me. I loaded him up with so many secrets. Wouldn't all of that be too much of an unacceptable information breach? Stephenson. I am not in a position to say, Breach. Yes, of course. Still, I can hypnotize. I'm pleased to see the Foundation care more for the preservation of casualty than of securing their secrecy. Again, I am not in a position to say. So what happens now? I'm not in... Alright, I understand. I dare to say I have little confidence about... Not every D-class personnel gets a chance to become an old man. Thank you very much. I mean it, and thank you. Document 1969-121-FB042-6, located in the Foundation Archives for merely of the Foundation Persecutor blank blank blank. Incident class unconfirmed, unexplained. Assignment Alpha Bravo. Event at 2 p.m. on Thursday, 14th March 1986. A white male at the age of 20 or 25 was observed to appear in midair, approximately 30 feet above the ground in a field near blank, Pennsylvania. The male was observed by a Mr. Dan McBrayer whose haycart he is reported to have landed. Mr. McBriar reported the occurrence to local law enforcement, but unknown male could not be located, and when apprehension was attempted, the unknown male remains at large. He has been designated person of interest 0001192. So that was the first SCP I was reading about. I will see you when I find the next. So sorry guys, I can only do one SCP reading a day, so that's all for today guys. Bye bye. Next time we'll be reading SCP-1774. Bye bye.